Now, I'm hoping the light's alright. This is best and worst homeschool advice. And no matter who you are, if you're homeschooling, you'll have been given people's advice, whether you wanted it or not. You know, you'll have popped out for a pint of milk and someone will decide to get you into an educational debate because as soon as you mention homeschooling, they suddenly become an expert in education. So we've all had it. The collaboration is hosted by Tanisha Kemp. Her channel's all marriage, motherhood, homeschooling. So I'll link Tanisha Kemp's channel below, and the playlist I'll either put it in the description box below or in the comments depending on when I get it, because I'm filming this before it's due out. My card is falling off. If you're new here, my name's Victoria. I'm a homeschooling or home educating, whichever term you prefer, mum of 4, soon to be 5, very very soon to be 5. My chin isn't normally this big. I swear it's all gone on my chin instead of my belly this time. So mum of 4, soon to be 5, from England. So let's get straight on with it, because the puppy's asleep, so I'm trying to get done while the puppy's asleep. So some of these you'll have heard before, but that's because they're true. So the best homeschool advice, there's quite a lot of good homeschool advice, but I just pick a few out. So the best one is just do it. If you want, I mean, I tell you this before, but it's true. I spent ages and ages agonising over the decision, months agonising over the decision to do it. And it wasn't until I just did it that I found my way with it and realised I could do it and worked out all those worries and kinks and stuff. If you don't do it, you're never going to know. And there's a reason you're called to this. There's a reason that you want to do it. You know, or everybody be doing it. You didn't just pluck the idea of homeschooling out of thin air. There's a reason you want to do this. And I was in a homeschool group recently on Facebook, and a lady was saying that her daughter was 12. She'd always wanted to homeschool her, but was now the right time. You know, was everything perfect enough to do it? And I just commented and said, she's 12. How much longer was you waiting to leave this if it's something you've already always wanted to do? Which might seem harsh, but they're only going to be children for so long. You haven't got years and years and years to make this decision. If you want to do it, do it. And it's not until you do it that you realise you can do it. So if you're worried about it, just do it. Just do it. You find your way with it. The second one is chill out. All these worries about homeschooling, they can all be worked out. You can find your way with any of them. Chill out, enjoy it. It doesn't have to emulate school. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's homeschool. Your child doesn't have to be doing the same things as everybody else or learning at the same pace as everybody else. You're going to have different seasons in life where sometimes you get more done than others. Chill out, it's going to be fine. Don't ruin it by stressing all the time, and it's counterproductive stressing all the time anyway. Kids naturally soak stuff up, they're naturally learning. That's why they ask questions all the time, again and again sometimes, because they're constantly learning. Chill out, it's going to be fine. So the third one of the best homeschool advice is you don't have to justify yourself to anyone, and I mean anyone. In the beginning, people used to go, oh, you know, you shouldn't be doing that, and I used to be like, oh, well, we're doing it because, you know, X, Y, and Z, and then I try and make it more palatable for the people by going, oh, well, we might send him to school when he's 7, and stuff. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. This is nobody else's business except you, your kids, and your partner. It's nobody else's business. I mean, if you want to get into conversations with people, that's different. But I'm talking about when people are on at you and they want, you know, and some of them you don't even know that well. It might be some random person in the street who's just gone, no school today, and then you felt like you've had to explain yourself to somebody you've never met before, whose name you don't even know. You know what's right for you and your family and your children. And how much you want to get into that reasoning with other people or not is totally your decision. You don't, if you want to, fair enough, but you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. And you don't have to waste energy doing it with nosy parkers you don't even know in the street. And the fourth one is priorities, which I suppose ties into my last point and chill out. As a parent, I always say, and Faye from the Hippie Homeschool Mum always says it as well, her channel, because it's true. Homeschooling is just an extension of parenting. So this last point doesn't just count for homeschooling, it's parenting in general. Your priority is your children and what works best for them. I mean, we've all done it. You're out and about, you feel folk judging you, you end up acting different or trying to do something that you wouldn't normally do with your kids because you know folk are going to judge you if you don't do it otherwise. Or trying to make certain decisions more palatable for other people. You don't have to do none of that. What you do is what's best for your children, not what's best for everybody else. It's the same as if you put in a situation where, say like, I don't know, it's a family gathering or something like that, and you know Auntie Pearl from Birmingham or wherever, you never hardly see, but you know she's going to give you a hard time. She's going to give you a hard time because your 3-year-old still got a security blanket, right? You're then going to take that security blanket off your 3-year-old to appease Auntie Pearl who you never see, that's going to distress your 3-year-old, make you stressed, and make you look bad anyway because you've just distressed your child. Or are you going to let your 3-year-old keep the security blanket, be happy, safe and content? You also don't have to deal with the distressed child that's been unnecessarily distressed, and tell Auntie Pearl to mind her own business. It's the same with anything else. Your priority is your children. Doesn't matter how, you know, Mr. Dawson from down the street reacts, or Auntie Pearl reacts, or anybody else reacts. You do what sits right with you for your babbies, and it's nobody else's business. Okay? Okay, right. So worst advice. You need a homeschool room. If you want a homeschool room and you've got the space and the budget and what have you, you know, brilliant. But you don't have to have one. The amount of people who told me that I had to have one, or I had to have some kind of space in my house that was just for learning in, it's not true. Homeschooling, home education has bleeded into every single part of this house. It's vomiting out the walls. It's everywhere. It's not in one specific place. We haven't got the budget for a homeschool room anyway. I think in the beginning I might have done something like that. But now I know I don't need one. I don't think I bother. And that's not me calling people who have got one, because if you want one, you know, fair enough. I'm just saying you haven't got to have one. So don't go thinking, oh, you know, I can't homeschool because I haven't got the room. You don't need to have the room. Think about these families that are world schooling, that live out of backpacks, or families that live on narrowboats, or travellers, we're travellers, we live in a house, but travellers that live in a trailer. They're in a confined space. They haven't got room for a homeschool room, and they still manage because you don't need one. People, if you're new here, I think well, apart from the fact I'm a bit gobby, I think my channel doesn't do as well as other homeschool channels because people watch it and think, not a lot of homeschool going on. There's no homeschool in this homeschool channel, Gareth. There's no homeschool going on. It's because I'm a great believer in life learning. So you're not always going to see my kids sit down at the table. You're not always going to see us, you know, following a curriculum and stuff like that, because we're doing stuff, and that stuff can be anywhere, here or out or anywhere. That's just learning to us. Second one, the worst homeschool advice. And this is the other thing I'm saying to people. All the worst homeschooling advice is normally from people who don't homeschool, or who've never met anybody who homeschools, who know nothing about homeschooling. It's just the fact that you mentioned homeschooling, they suddenly become an expert on it. And especially in the early days when we're feeling insecure, we still listen to these people who know nothing about homeschooling but still think they have to blow their horn off at us. Don't listen to them, they don't know nothing about it. Anyway, second one, you need to be qualified. You don't have to be qualified to homeschool. You don't need any qualifications whatsoever. You do not have to be a walking encyclopedia to homeschool your kids. Learn as they learn. Teach them how to research and look into stuff. Teach them how to be lifelong learners. And the thing that really winds me up at the minute is because there's been a huge rise in home education in England, you get all these courses popping up. A couple are free, so if you're going to do it, do a free one. But some of them you have to pay for it. You do not need a certificate or a diploma or anything like that to homeschool your children. You certainly don't need to pay for one. It's the con. You have got everything you need within yourself to guide your children. With the help of a library card and the internet and the great outdoors, there's nothing you can't teach them. And there's access to other people teaching them as well. Just because you're homeschooling doesn't mean you have to do all of it. You don't need to be qualified to homeschool, and that really winds me up. Can you tell? And the last one is that you need to be perfect in some way. You know, you need to be qualified, or you need the money and the space for a homeschool room, or you need to be uber patient and Mary Poppins-ish to have your kids with you all the time, or you need one of these uber mums who can fit everything in, do all the things. You do not need to be perfect to homeschool. Okay? I liken it to, you know when you want to take a photo of your mum and your mum doesn't let you because they're like, oh, I don't want my photo, because they don't like what they look like in photos. They see all their imperfections and stuff. But to me, or the child, whether they're grown up or little, it's just a photo of their mum. It's just a photo of somebody amazing that they love. And it's the same with homeschooling. You're looking at all these imperfections. Like, for me, it's I can't keep my house pristine. But, you know, whether it's, you know, oh, I'm not good enough for housework, or oh, we ain't got enough money, or oh, I'm not patient enough, or oh, I can't fit everything in, or you know, well, I had to stay in my pyjamas all day because I never got time to do that. Your kids don't see that. They don't see all your imperfections. All they see is mum or dad doing their best, living, laughing, learning together. You do not have to be perfect homeschool. Right, I'm hoping you can see me because the light's going. Oh, there's Bonio on the floor. That's the dogs. Oh, Bonio in the boys' bedroom. What was I just saying about my ass? If you're new here, please subscribe. It's free. It's free. Oh, and I'm going to have a baby fairly soon. So if you want to see newborn baby spam, this is the place to be, my jazz. Bye bye.